some words, things that are in your house, for example. Look around your house and ask yourself which compound nouns you see. For example, bookshelf, washing machine, laptop, window frame. How about some things that are in your purse or in your wallet? Driver's license, credit card, cell phone, car keys, chewing gum. All right, let's practice some sentences now. Please give me your phone number with the area code first. Please give me your phone number with the area code first. My house has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. My house has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. I got a headache from the loud rock music. I got a headache from the loud rock music. The police officer was on a motorcycle. The police officer was on a motorcycle. After their wedding day, they went on their honeymoon. After their wedding day, they went on their honeymoon. Don't put the newspaper in the trash can. Don't put the newspaper in the trash can. I bought a birthday present for my roommate. I bought a birthday present for my roommate. Remember, when it's an adjective plus noun, we stress the second word. We stress the noun. When we have 2 nouns together, compound noun, we stress the first word. Let's talk about the rules of stress for phrasal verbs. What is a phrasal verb? Well, pick is a verb, but if we say pick up, that's a phrasal verb. The meaning is very different. Break is a verb, but if we say break down is a phrasal verb. The meaning, again, is completely different. My car broke down is different from I broke the pencil. With phrasal verbs, we stress the second element, which is usually a preposition. So we say, pick up. Break down, we say, break down, emphasizing the second element. Sometimes the phrasal verb can have a pronoun or a noun in between, so we can say, pick it up. We can say, turn on, or we can say, turn it on. We can say, cross out, or we can say, cross it out. Sometimes a phrasal verb has a noun equivalent. For example, work out can be a noun, and I can say, workout. I had a great workout. In that case, we emphasize the first part. I had a workout. Listen, I want to work out. I had a great workout. Let's practice some sentences now with phrasal verbs, and after that, we'll learn a few more phrasal nouns. I found out about it. I found out about it. Can you look it over for me? Can you look it over for me? I'll think it over and I'll call you back. I'll think it over and I'll call you back. I can't figure out why it broke down. I can't figure out why it broke down. When he grew up, he moved out. When he grew up, he moved out. As we learned, if it's a phrasal verb, we stress the second part. We stress the preposition. And if it's a noun, we stress the first part. For example, make up, or I'm wearing makeup. I'd like to buy some new makeup. Another example is check up. Or you can say checkup. I went to a doctor to get a medical checkup. Another one is break up or break up. They decided to break up, which means they decided to separate. It was a very painful breakup. You can say turn off or you can say turn off. That's a real turn off. What does that mean? That's a real turn off. It's something you don't like, something you're not happy with, something that disgusts you. That's a turn off. One more example. You can say print out. I would like to print out the information. Or you can say, please give me the printout. Please give me the printout. Can you think of any more phrasal nouns and phrasal verbs? Let's learn the rules of stress for names of people and names of places. If the place has two words, we stress the second word. For example, South America, we say South America. United Kingdom, we say United Kingdom. Let's practice a few more places. Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Mexico City, South Africa, Central Park. Can you think of any other places that have two names in them? The same thing happens when we stress the names of people. We stress the last name, the second word. For example, George Washington, Barack Obama. When the name has three words, we stress the last word. For example, Martin Luther King, John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Let's practice some more names. Think of some actors that you like, some famous actors. For example, Julia Roberts, Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise. That's pretty simple, isn't it? All right, let's do some sentences for practice now. John Wilson and Bob Jones went to South America. John Wilson and Bob Jones went to South America. Central Park is in New York. Central Park is in New York. His father likes Bob Dylan, but his grandfather likes Frank Sinatra. His father likes Bob Dylan, but his grandfather likes Frank Sinatra. Barack Obama was elected President of the United States. Barack Obama was elected President of the United States. Is that Julia Roberts or Nicole Kidman? Is that Julia Roberts or Nicole Kidman? Remember, the final name gets the most stress. Let's talk about how we stress abbreviations and numbers. An abbreviation is a short version of longer names. For example, CNN, UCLA, PhD. The rule is we stress the last letter of an abbreviation. For example, CNN, UCLA, PhD. Let me show you how you need to do it. When you say CNN, make sure that you don't pronounce each letter separately. Try to say it as one word. Link it together. CNN, kind of like this. CNN, and then join them together. CNN, and then stress the last element. CNN. Repeat after me. CNN. Let's practice a few more. ASAP. Call me back ASAP. ASAP means as soon as possible. Okay, a few more. PC, HTML, DVD, CD, IQ. Can you think of any more? Sometimes people may ask you to spell your name if you have a name that they're not familiar with. Spell it the same way. Break it up and emphasize the last part. Imagine that your last name had 6 letters in it. For example, Parker. I would spell it like this: P-A-R-K-E-R. Repeat after me: P-A-R-K-E-R. We emphasize the last element. Try spelling your last name the same way. All right, now let's talk about numbers. Numbers work the same way. We generally emphasize the last element. For example, we say 3799, 58, 812. Let's practice a telephone number. We would say area code 310-555-8239. Why don't you practice your telephone number and maybe some other important numbers in your life? For example, your birthday and your birth year, or an important holiday. For example, an important day in American history is July 4th, 1776. He was born in 1987. All right, why don't you think of some numbers in your life and try practicing them the same way? Okay, and now let's practice some sentences using abbreviations and numbers. I went to work at 9:15 and came home at 5:45. I went to work at 9:15 and came home at 5:45. Flight 507 left LAX at 7:25. Flight 507 left LAX at 7:25. This CD costs $19.99. This CD costs $19.99. He was born in LA in 1987. He was born in LA in 1987. When they got married, he was 31 and she was 29. When they got married, he was 31 and she was 29. Remember, in abbreviations and in numbers, the last element gets stressed. Let's learn one final rule about word stress. In some cases, any word can be stressed if you have a good reason for stressing it, if you want to emphasize it for some reason. For example, you can say, "This is the best ice cream I've ever had." Or you can say, "This is the best ice cream I've ever had." "This is the biggest dog I've ever seen." There is a reason why you want to emphasize it, to put more emotion in it, or to make sure people really understand your point. But be careful, don't do that too much, because in regular conversations you will say, "This is the best ice cream I've ever had." You can also do that with had, which is a content word, and that's what Americans often do. They say, "I love your new car." You don't have to say, "I love your new car." You can say, "I love your new car." So remember, that last element in general tends to get the most stress. However, there is room for some creativity there. Let me give you another reason that you would use special emphasis. For example, if I say to you, "You don't smoke, do you?" And you can tell me, "I used to smoke. I don't smoke now, but I used to smoke." In that case, we emphasize used to. Or if I say to you, "You will not go there tomorrow night, right? You're not going tomorrow." You can say, "I will go. I will go." So there's a special reason why you're saying will. You're kind of emphasizing or disagreeing with what I'm saying. All right, for one more example. If I say to you, do you speak French or German? You can say to me, I speak French and German. Repeat after me. I speak French and German. Let's try one sentence like that, and let's see how the stress changes depending on the meaning that we wish to convey. Let's look at this sentence. I will drive to the beach next week. That's the normal way you would say it. Listen again. I will drive to the beach next week. However, you can change that. You can say, I will drive to the beach next week, not he. I will drive to the beach. Or you can say, I will drive to the beach. I'm not going to walk and I'm not going to take the bus. I will drive to the beach next week. Or you can say what? I will drive to the beach next week, not to the park. Or you can emphasize next. I will drive to the beach next week, not this week. And finally, if you really want to emphasize that you're saying week, you can put a little more extra stress on the word week. I will drive to the beach next week. So you can see how the stress changes and the meaning changes. So there's the flexibility for you depending on what you're really trying to convey. Let's practice one more sentence in different ways, changing the stress. Let's say this sentence naturally first. Mary made a cake for my birthday. Now, let's say it again, changing the stress. Mary made a cake for my birthday, not Susan. Mary made a cake for my birthday. She didn't buy it. Mary made a cake for my birthday. She didn't make cookies. Mary made a cake for my birthday, not for his birthday. Mary made a cake for my birthday, not for Christmas. Remember, for special emphasis or for clarification, you can stress any word. Let's talk about intonation. Intonation is the going up and down of your voice, the rising and the falling. This is also called pitch. For example, if I say, all right, I can say this as a statement, and I can say, all right, all right. My pitch goes down at the end for a statement, all right. Now, if this is a question, I would say it differently. The word right, the pitch would go up. All right? Listen to the difference again. All right. All right? One is falling intonation and one is rising intonation. Let's try falling intonation and rising intonation on another word. The word hello. There are two different ways we can say hello. I can say hello, falling intonation, hello, nice to meet you. Or I can make the rising intonation, and when I answer the phone, I can say hello. So the pitch goes up. Hello, who's calling? Or hello, nice to meet you. If you're using the wrong intonation, people may be confused about what you're trying to say, and they may misunderstand you or just get the wrong impression. You may sound nervous or insecure and unsure of yourself if your intonation is going up at the end rather than down in statements. So let's practice the falling intonation by saying some very simple sentences that are statements. And remember, a statement is not a question. After we do this, we will learn some rules for intonation with questions. And with questions, sometimes the intonation rises, but not always. Sometimes it goes down, depending on what kind of question it is. But first, let's practice the falling intonation of simple sentences. I like it. Repeat after me. I like it. Have a nice day. My name is Bob. It's cold outside. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm hungry because I haven't eaten all day. Don't confuse stress and intonation. We have learned that for stress, we jump up on the keyword, but then intonation is when you jump up, how you do it. For example, if I say, have a nice day, I'm still going to emphasize the word day, but I'm not going to make my pitch go up. I'm not going to say, have a nice day. I'm going to say, have a nice day. Have a nice day. So my voice is still going down even though I'm stressing the word. The pitch is still down. Very important. All right, let's practice a few more statements. Think of some things that you're feeling right now. I feel good. I'm feeling happy. Today is Monday. I'm going to go to work soon. All right, make some simple sentences, making sure that your voice goes down at the end, that your pitch goes down. Now, let's learn the rules for intonation for questions. We can have either rising or falling intonation when we're making questions, depending on what kind of question it is. There are two different kinds of questions. There are yes-no questions, and there are WH questions. Yes-no questions can be answered by either a yes or a no. For example, are you happy? That's a yes-no question because I can say yes or I can say no. With yes-no questions, the intonation goes up. Are you happy? WH questions are questions that begin with words that have a W and H in them. For example, when, where, why, what, how, and how has a WH as well. These cannot be answered by yes or no. If I say, what's your name? You can't say yes. WH questions have falling intonation. How are you? We don't say, how are you? We say, how are you? I'm fine. Let's practice some more WH questions with falling intonation. How old are you? One more time. How old are you? Where do you live? What do you do? Where were you born? How did you do that? Now, let's practice some questions which are yes-no questions. Remember, intonation goes up. Are you hungry? Did you eat? Did he go? Did you like it? Did you call me? Okay, now we're going to practice some sentences that will have questions with both rising and falling intonation. You will hear pairs of questions. The first one is a yes-no question, and the second one is a WH question. Notice how the intonation changes. Are you angry at me? One more time. Are you angry at me? Why are you angry at me? Why are you angry at me? Is it hot in there? Is it hot in there? Why is it so hot in there? Why is it so hot in there? Did you get there late? Did you get there late? Why did you get there late? Why did you get there late? Have you been to New York? Have you been to New York? How many times have you been to New York? How many times have you been to New York? Did it start? Did it start? What time did it start? What time did it start? Remember, for statements, we use a falling intonation. For yes-no questions, we use a rising intonation. And for WH questions, we use a falling intonation as well. Let's learn about how intonation can change within one sentence. Within one same sentence, the intonation can both rise and fall. Let me give you the rules for that. One rule is when we list items in a series. For example, when you say, I bought chicken, fish, apples, and sugar at the supermarket. Each of those items that you list should have a rising intonation. I bought chicken, fish, apples, and sugar. The last one will have falling intonation. So we go up, 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 down. Let's try that one more time. I bought chicken, fish, apples, and sugar. When you have that rising intonation, people know that that's not the last element. Something more is coming. Apples and sugar. When the intonation goes down, it indicates